Next topic is stomach and gastric glands. The mucosa of stomach has gastric glands. Gastric glands have three major type of cells. So as we have studied previously also that the alimentary canal is lined by different layers, and the innermost layer is the mucosa. The mucosa of stomach has gastric glands, and gastric glands, when we study the gastric glands, we can see that they are made up of three different type of cells. The first cell is mucous neck cell, and the work of these cells is to secrete mucus. The second cell is peptic cell or chief cell, and their work is to secrete proenzyme pepsinogen. So here the peptic cell or the chief cell, which are basically both are the same thing, just two different names for the same thing. Now what exactly is proenzyme and pepsinogen? Proenzyme is an inactive form of an enzyme. After going through some modification, proenzyme is converted into enzyme, which is the active form. Proenzyme is the inactive form of an enzyme, and pepsinogen is a proenzyme. Pepsinogen is converted into pepsin. So pepsinogen is converted into pepsin, which is an enzyme, and pepsinogen is a proenzyme. Parietal or oxyntic cells which secrete HCl and intrinsic factor essential for absorption of vitamin B12. The parietal cell or the oxyntic cells secrete HCl and intrinsic factor. HCl is important for the activation of pepsin, or basically for the conversion of pepsinogen into pepsin and for proper functioning of pepsin. Pepsin needs low pH to function. If we don't provide it with the pH of 2, so it won't work. It won't break the protein chain. And in order to convert pepsinogen into pepsin, we also need low pH. Intrinsic factors are basically really important for the absorption of vitamin B12. The stomach stores the food for approximately 4 to 5 hours, and as we know that the stomach is made up of muscles, so it has the ability to contract and relax so that it can provide a churning motion, and the gastric glands secrete gastric juices into the stomach. So stomach now has the food and the gastric glands, and it can churn it so that the food is thoroughly mixed with the gastric juices. And now this food that is mixed up with gastric juices is known as chyme. The proenzyme pepsinogen, on exposure to hydrochloric acid, gets converted into active enzyme pepsin, the proteolytic enzyme of stomach. Proteolytic enzymes are those enzymes whose work is to break protein into simpler part. This, for example, this is a protein. Proteins are made up of amino acids. So this is an amino acid, this is an amino acid, this, and this. These all are amino acids which are linked with peptide bonds, and this whole chain is known as a protein. The main difference between protein and peptides are peptides can be small, whereas proteins are large, heavy chains of amino acid, whereas peptides can be small. Now, for example, if this is a protein chain, the proteolytic enzyme will break this bond. And now we will have two chains. These two chains are not amino acids, they are simpler form of protein, which are peptides, that is proteases and peptones. So the work of pepsin is to convert protein into peptides, that are proteases and peptones. On by further action of enzymes, these peptones or proteases might get converted into amino acids. The mucus and bicarbonates which are present in the gastric juices are important for lubrication, so that the food can easily pass through the alimentary canal or the stomach, and for protection of the mucosal epithelium of the stomach, because HCl that is secreted is highly acidic and can corrode or damage the internal lining. HCl provides an acidic pH that is approximately 1.8, which is optimal for pepsin, that is the enzyme, to work, because enzymes are pH dependent, and if we change the pH and if they go out from their optimum range, they won't work. Renin is a proteolytic enzyme. Just like pepsin, renin is also a proteolytic enzyme, and it is found in the gastric juices of infant. because it helps in digestion of milk protein. Infants' diet is mostly made up of milk, that's why they need renin so that they can digest milk protein. Small amount of lipases are also secreted by gastric glands.